Alright, what's going on, guys? Boy, do I have a treat for you today. We are finishing up a little project that I started a few months ago. Now, I'm at my buddy Scooter's house, and he has got a collection that you would not believe. Some of the coolest signs. Some of the coolest signs that I've ever seen. He's a jack of all trades. He does glass work, he does metal work, carpentry, and he has got the best house I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, I'm going to show you just a little bit and get you turned around here. Now, his shop is on this right side, and his house is on the left. He's got this little breezeway that connects to two way out in the country. It's beautiful. Now, I'm gonna take you inside. I'm gonna show you a little bit of some of his other stuff that he's got. We do quite a bit of projects together. Some big signs, one that sits down by the road you can see from the highway. And the project that we started several months back was one of those mechanical horses that sits out in front of a barber shop, in front of a grocery store. And he ended up getting one years ago, had it redone and got rid of it, and he had never really had an opportunity until recently to restore this one. So we've done a lot of airbrush and a lot of pinstriping work to it, and I come up here several times just to paint different things, and we worked on this thing together, and we plan on working on a lot more detailed projects just like this in the future. So I'm gonna get set up inside, and then I'm gonna bring you in and I'm gonna let you meet my buddy Scooter.
My problem is, like last night, I tried to go to bed at like 9 o'clock. I could not go to sleep.
So what I've done here is I've already done the base, and I've written on here Ride Sandy. So get my brush all paletted up. I'm gonna do a little bit of lettering. Now, Scooter, I know you're busy, buddy, but how was it you come about this horse?
Working on a guy's house, I was doing construction work at the time, and had to go to his basement to get turn the water off to the house. And I was walking through the basement, and that's how I usually run across a lot of things, is working on people's houses and trade them out for work, trade out stuff for work. And seeing these two horses down there, and I remember riding them as a kid, and the guy's house I was working on, I knew him real well. And I asked him, I said, what are you going to do with them old horses you got down in the basement? He said, well, I'd like to fix them up one of these days. And I said, well, I'd like to have one myself. I said, how about I take these horses home with me and I restore you one for one? But he thought about it a couple of days and got back with me and said, you know, I think I'll do that if you'll do it. And I said, well, yeah. So I took his home and brought the other one with me also, but I took one home with me and started in on it and took it apart and went through the motor and bearings and the coin mechanism and all that, and stripped the horse off, all the paint off it and everything, and I ended up getting his finished within, I don't know, it seemed like it was 6 weeks. I carried the saddle to a Amish guy over here in town, and he redid my saddle for me and everything. And a friend of mine, before I met Chase, painted my other horse. Not as detailed, it was more of a cartoon look. And I ended up carrying the horse back to the guy, and he was tickled to death with it, because he had them horses since late 60s, early 70s, and he put them in front of convenience stores, and I can remember riding them as a kid. And he said those two horses, I can't remember the exact dollar amount that he said that they made, but it was unreal what them horses made in a month's time at 10 cents a pop. And
Do you think you rode these?
I'm pretty sure I rode them, because they was up here in front of Piggly Wiggly at one time, and then there was an old store where the Save-A-Lot is now. I can't remember the name of that store, but I was a little kid and I remember riding them there then. But that horse I did for him, I done it probably 10 years ago, and I thought, well, I'll do mine one of these days. And I called, ran into Chase here. Our daughters played softball together, and we got talking about cars and just hit it off. And I had him come up like within a week or two after meeting him, and he come up and painted some pinstripes on the old car for me. And we got to talk about doing this horse, and we got around to it finally. And 10 years later, I got my horse done, and I'm excited about it. It's turned out awesome. The airbrush and the lifelike features of the horse, and its mane and its tail, and the pinstriping on it just brought it to another level. I'm extremely satisfied with it, and like everything else, I'll probably keep it forever. Really appreciate the job he's done for me.
We plan on doing some more projects. We just can't let the cat out of the bag right just yet.
That's right.
We've had a lot of fun. We've spent several hours, not only apart, but up here in this shop together, just working on it. It's been a on and off deal, but sure enough, we coming down to the wire. And like I said, guys, I'm gonna do my best to try to add in some photos that I took along the way, and that he took along the way, that it'll kind of give you an idea. This before I had this camera set up and all that. Now, they hadn't seen the Sinclair sign yet, but I'm gonna put a picture on there as well. Now, was that something that was local around here, or was that something that did you buy it online?
No, it was actually it was up here in town on old Red Bull and Springs Road. It was at Garrett Brothers Ready Mix for years, and they had painted the Garrett Brothers Ready Mix sign and put in the Sinclair thing. But I got into collecting and really into signs and stuff like that, just anything old, and trying to restore it, and just had a passion for it, because I guess I grew up that way, just working with old stuff and kind of just had a love for it. And I was driving by that sign, I said something about that signpost there just looks familiar, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was driving through Tompkinsville, Kentucky one day and seen a Sinclair sign and a post there in the yard, and I said, that's what that is up there at Garrett Brothers Ready Mix. I said, they don't even know what they've got there. And
They just sell you the whole pole?
some of the whole pole. I went up there because I was building my house at the time and shop, and every time I'd go up there to pay them for concrete, I'd ask them to sell me that old signpost out there because the sign was done gone out of it. And I said, y'all ain't gonna do nothing with it. That thing's been like that for years. I said, just sell me that thing. He said, well, we can't sell it. I don't want to sell it. You know, we've had 1,000 people ask about it. Well, I just made the point every time I went up there. I said, are you ready to sell me that sign today? So finally, it was on a Thursday. He said, yes, I'll sell it to you in X amount of dollars. And he said, but I want it gone by Saturday. I'm tired of people asking me about it. So I had a friend of mine who went up there and pulled her down by Saturday. That's how I acquired that signpost. And then I had a guy cut me. I made a template of the sign because can't hardly find the original signs that goes in it. I had a friend of mine cut me a piece of metal for it and got Chase to paint it for me. He knocked it out both sides. It looks real. You couldn't tell it wasn't real unless you just walked up to it and started touching it, you know. But I was tickled the way it turned out and glad to have it.
Now, you had talked to me about maybe possibly making a mock service station out by the road.
Yes, I plan on it sometime. You know, good Lord willing, that I can afford it, and I'd like to do it all myself, but I'd like to do that, and because there's a lot of people in this town and the surrounding area, especially if they go from here to Red Bull and Springs to the car shows and stuff. I think it'd be neat just for a photo place. You know, it's just people can pull off on the side of the road and get their picture made in an old car in front of an old gas station. I think it'd be pretty neat, just something to offer to the community. And
Oh yeah, absolutely.
no charge, just something to do for that.
Some way to give back.
That's right.
He's always coming up with these really awesome colors that's really gonna take you back to a time when life was simpler. And you know, back in the 50s and 60s, if you was a kid, I mean, even when we were kids, out in front of the grocery store, you want to go out there and throw a quarter in it or 10 cents, or, you know, spend some time with grandma was in there getting her groceries. We've had a lot of fun with this project. It's kind of sad to see it come to an end, but there's going to be more, and you guys stay with us. But as for today, we're going to call this one done, and we're going to get out there and see what else we can get into. Y'all have a good one. Not only did I do all the pinstriping and the lettering and the paint and all the airbrushing, but if you ever need your horses shod, I shoot horses too.